From the studios of TLC Talk Radio, it's TashaTalkz. I'm your girl, Tasha. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, right here on YouTube. Today, we have another great episode of TashaTalkz. And in studio is my cousin, Carla Whitelow, who is the executive director and founder of When Girls Get Together, which is a mentoring group for young ladies. Welcome to the show, Carla.
Thank you, Tasha. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, I'm glad to have you here. So the listeners and viewers know that in my other life, I'm an educator. And there's a lot of dialogue around what the village does or doesn't look like anymore. And so when I hear about mentoring groups or mentoring programs, that's something that's very valued. Tell us about When Girls Get Together and its inception.
Okay, so When Girls Get Together actually started when the pandemic hit in March of 2020.
Very nice.
Although we could not officially open our doors until April 11th of 2022.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a long way to get there, but we got there and we're good.
Good. So what led you to start this program?
So, I come out of corporate America. I was in corporate America for about 30 years. And so while, I'm in the banks and because I was a commercial lender. So I went around to all different branches, right? And so I would see girls come into the branch with their pajamas on, house shoes on, head rag on their head, looking like they really just climbed out of bed. And could not articulate themselves. It's sad. It was very sad. And so because of that, I was like, there's a disconnect here. Disconnect from how I was raised and how girls are being raised today.
Yeah.
So I said something needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so what were the steps that led you to say, okay, there's this disconnect. How can I assist?
Yeah. So, I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, I really want to go work with a mentoring organization. Recommend to me, because she's, has her own nonprofit. And I'm like, recommend to me some mentoring organizations I can go work for. Do you kind of give back and work with girls?
Yeah.
And she was like, start your own. And I'm like, she's crazy, But lo and behold, God was leading me to do just that. So that's pretty much how it started. The fact that God is a God-led. And I don't just say that this is a mentoring order. I also call it a ministry.
Yeah, it is, because ministry literally means to serve.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's exactly what you're doing, and it's wonderful. Tell me about the name. How did you come up with the name When Girls Get Together?
So again, I was talking to one of my friends, and I was telling her how God was leading me to start a mentoring organization, and so she's like, "Well, what are you going to call it?" And it just came out, When Girls Get Together. And I truly know that was nobody but God.
Mm-hmm. Definitely divine. Definitely. So how many volunteers do you have in the organization?
So currently I have about 6 volunteers.
Nice.
And then I do have some on staff as well, but it's about 6 volunteers. Maybe one comes in, have a couple of days a week that one might just do one day a week. It just depends, okay. Right? But we're always looking for more volunteers, and of course, we are looking for mentors.
Sure.
To build a relationship with the girls. A lot of these girls come from single family homes, right? I have one girl who mother is incarcerated. So it's a lot of these girls have experienced trauma at a very early age.
Sure.
So we need and the trust. They don't trust, right? They don't have that type of home life. So we need to build relationships with these girls so that they feel comfortable in talking to you. you can't. We had one girl who she knew something was going on, but she's talking to her friend who's the same age as her.
Right.
What can she really help her with?
Not much.
Right, exactly. So, but we want her to come to us.
Sure.
And talk to us about it so that we can direct her in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. And building that relationship is important. We say all the time in education, you can't come in, sometimes adults don't understand that children are people.
Yes.
And so you can't come in with a heavy hand if they don't know and trust you.
That's right.
I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care.
That's right.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
What does the mentoring relationship look like? Are the girls paired one-on-one, or so many girls to a mentor? How does that look?
So right now, currently, it's one mentor, 3 girls.
Okay. That's a decent number.
It is. But in some cases, you do need that one-on-one. Just depending on what's going on with the girl. But as you get to know the girl, you will know, you know what, I need to spend just some one-on-one time with this particular individual.
Yeah.
As opposed to the 3 of us being together.
I see.
So we try to assess each situation, and not just throw them in, right? Mm-hmm. So that's very important.
Yeah, it is. It is. What are some of in addition to the mentoring and the relationship building with the mentor, what kind of programs do you offer?
Yes, so we have art, we have dance, we have music, we have financial literacy. With the art, it allows the girls to express their creativity.
Yeah.
When we have art classes, these girls get so focused. And I mean, some of them are just so good. They've actually sold some of their paintings.
Nice.
We have music, which, has a counting component to it. So it kind of helps with math. But There's some girls who are really interested in playing the piano. Okay. So, we do with the keyboard.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, yeah. And then we have the dance. And, they have fun, of course, dancing, but at the same time, it helps with confidence and self-esteem. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the financial literacy, we're trying to instill and help them establish basic financial management, right? Understanding about a checking account. Okay, you can't write a check if the money is not there, right? All right, and then also savings, right? We had the girls create a budget, right? And so they did that, and it was very interesting to see what all they included in their budget. But we also kind of said, help them understand what is a need and what is a want.
Absolutely.
Right? So a need definitely has to be incorporated in that budget. A want, yeah, it can be, but, you have to maybe work toward it. Save toward it, right? So we instill that in them as well. We help them with that. Also, we have an entrepreneurship.
That was actually my next question. Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so what we did, we had what we call Market Day.
Okay.
And so the girls worked in teams of 4. And so they made bracelets, they made earrings, and then they would have me go on Amazon. They would buy lip gloss. So I told them, what do you want to stock your store with?
Sure.
So we did, they had the jewelry, they had the lip gloss, some had false eyelashes. So they had an array of things that they were going to sell, right? So I told them, the more inventory you have, the better off, right?
Yeah.
We got price tickets so that they could price. We helped them understand, so what did we purchase for this, right? What was our cost? Okay, so now what's going to be our profit? So how much are you going to price this at to see a profit, right?
Nice.
So we talked to them about that. Got them little cash boxes. I told them to name their store. They did flyers. They posted on social media. They went out and handed out flyers. So this is all a part of being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
These are the things that go into doing it.
That marketing, yeah.
Yeah. So the day came where the parents, the community came out to shop. And these girls, they did a really great job. We had one team that made almost $600.
Wow.
In one day.
Their first time.
The first time.
See, that's excellent.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to what the focus and the mentoring can bring out of these girls. It's in them.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't recognize that it is in them.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was great. We've also even done braiding, hair care / braiding workshop. Braids are the thing, right? And I have girls that are so interested in cosmetology.
Sure.
So we had a team come in.
Okay.
And they taught them how to braid.
Nice.
Yeah. So there are girls now who are braiding and charging.
All right. I'll need to talk to you about that right after.
I mean, they know all about it. The box braid, the knot braid. I'm like, what? But they learned this in the class.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that's a skill they can use for themselves or to make money.
Right.
It's just an additional piece in their arsenal.
Exactly.
Last year I had the opportunity to attend the cotillion. And so first of all, I love fancy dress up. I love going like to high tea. I'm always hungry after high tea, but I like to dress up and put on my little fascinators and all of that. So when you mentioned there was a cotillion, my mother and I came out, and I'm like, all right, let's go. We didn't make it this year. But tell me about a cotillion, the history of cotillions. Why a cotillion?
Okay. So, well, as you know, cotillion really originates from the South.
Yep.
So I was surprised at how I had to educate some of the people up here about a cotillion, right? But the reason behind it was to help the girls with their confidence level, their self-esteem, and actually, to dress up and know what that feels like.
They look so beautiful.
Yeah, and listen, they had a different step in they walk.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes they would be slouching, walking, regular, but that day, girl, standing up straight, arms back, strutting. I was like, okay.
They understood the assignment. They understood.
Yeah, they did. They did a really great job. And so I was so glad that I was able to do it again this year. It was our second annual, and we plan on doing it again next year. And it seems like every year I get more and more people who want to be involved with it.
Excellent.
And have great ideas. So we already have established a whole committee. We have a chair. We have a co-chair. And they will begin working on the third annual cotillion in October.
And that's great. You plan early. What does getting ready for a cotillion look like?
All right.
Particularly for girls who are not used to that.
Exactly. So we have etiquette classes, right? In fact, my etiquette instructor started this past week.
Okay.
And so she was teaching the girls with putting the book on the head and walking on how to walk, on how to sit.
Yeah.
Either legs crossed or either having your crossed at the ankle.
You got me sitting here like, well, am I good? Okay.
Yeah, shoulders back. So how do you talk? They're going to get into the eating. We're going to hopefully take the girls to a nice restaurant.
Very nice.
And let them be able to demonstrate what they learned in etiquette class.
Excellent.
In preparation for the event. And then we also have a dance instructor that comes in and choreographs the dance with the girls and their dads or whoever the significant male is in their life that will be presenting them.
Absolutely.
So and the dads love it. I mean, even when they put their tuxes on, you could see that they were like feeling good about themselves too. So
yeah, they were. It was a sight to see. Like I had to park the car. I was running a few minutes behind. But when I came in and I heard the introductions and the look of pride on everyone's faces, not just the participants, but everyone watching was just like, yes, this is their presentation to the world.
Yeah.
It was great to see.
It was. The parents, they get so geeked. The mother, I mean, it's a great way to, because again, some of our girls, they don't have that family dynamic, but this helps to create that, right? The mother being in and helping them with the dress and buying the dress and picking it out and the makeup and, this is what I'm used to. This is how I came up.
Sure.
And so, man, I miss my mom. But
Sure.
those are the things that she did. And so I'm so grateful that I'm able to pass that on. And I have a beautiful team and crew that works with me to help pass that on as well.
That's great. It's a transformation for them.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the significant transformations. I know that you started in 2020, you opened doors in 22. This is 24. But what kind of significant stories, of course, without giving out any too personal details, what notable transformations come to mind as a result of the program?
Okay, so I had one girl. She wasn't doing well in school.
Okay.
She had failed in math, had failed in reading. And so her parent came to me and he was like, this is like really, a problem. She was like in the 5th grade, didn't know her multiplication tables.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, we got together because we tutor as well.
Sure.
So the volunteers got together, worked with her, helped her learn her multiplication tables, reading. We had a tutor come in, help her with reading. So this one particular day, I'm sitting in my office and she comes in and she slams this paper on the desk and she said, "Miss Carla, I got my grades." And I'm like, oh, okay. So I picked it up and I looked at it. And so she had A's and B's and everything in math and reading. She had come up from an F to a C.
Excellent.
In the next quarter, she brought the math and the reading up to a B.
Mm-hmm. That confidence.
Her confidence level went from 0 to 10. I mean, she felt so good about herself. She said, "I'm smart." I said, "Yes, you are."
That's right.
And
when kids struggle, if they don't have the assistance, they feel like they're not. And so then they shut down and give up.
Right. Or they act out in another way.
Sure.
And this was her case. But now she is growing into being one of the most beautiful young ladies that you ever want to meet. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And that, I don't get to, in the classroom, right, mentor one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to cultivate those relationships with particularly the girls who I see need the extra.
Yeah.
Because those are normally my girls who hit me with all the sass, or they're acting out in whatever other way.
Yes.
And it's clear you need some attention. You need something to remind you of the greatness within you.
Yes.
Or even let you know that it's there, because sometimes they don't even recognize that it's there. I think that's great. Any other transformations you can think of?
Yes. So I had one girl that was a part of the cotillion this year. She's actually in high school.
Okay.
And so very shy, very withdrawn. But I was awarded to go into one of the school districts, District 215.
Okay.
The high school. And so began working with this young lady. And I mean, she just blossomed. In fact, when, was asked about did she want to apply to be in the cotillion, she was like, yes, which was a surprise to everybody. So, I try to keep it even. I try not to just get so overly excited where they'll be like, "Oh, forget it, Miss Carla." But I'd be like, "Oh, okay." But inside, I'm jumping up and down because I know this is really out of their comfort zone, right? And so she would be at rehearsal, every rehearsal on time. And so she looked beautiful on the day of the cotillion. She looked great. Her brother was actually who presented her.
Very nice.
And so at the end of the cotillion, one of her brothers came up to me and said, "I just want to meet the person who has had such a positive influence over my sister."
Aww.
And I was just like, I could have just, cried, but I was like, I love her. I love how she has grown.
Sure.
I'm so proud of her. And it was great.
That's good.
It was great.
That's really good. And one of the questions I was going to ask is what happens when a young lady struggles to come out of the cocoon that they've likely built around themselves due to whatever's happening in life, be it trauma or just circumstances that have happened. And I think just that one-on-one is what I'm hearing you say. The group settings, and I'm sure the girls begin to form friendships with each other.
Yeah. And letting them know that you genuinely care. I think that's what it is. And I always tell my staff, my crew, whatever, that it's important to understand each girl because they all have a different story.
They're all different.
And you got to understand that you cannot just, loop them into one category. That you just can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you understand that, it helps to build a genuine relationship with that girl.
Absolutely. How can people volunteer? You said earlier that you're looking for volunteers. How can people volunteer? What should they do?
They can call me.
Okay.
And I'll give you the number. It is 708-990-1682.
Okay.
Again, that number is 708-990-1682. And we go Monday through Thursdays. We're doing summer session right now. We're Monday through Thursdays throughout the year, but summer session, we're Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay. In the fall, we are from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock because it's after school in the fall.
Sure.
Yeah. So right now it's summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many school districts are you working with? Are you only based in South Chicagoland, or do you just accept girls from wherever they can get to you from?
Yes. The answer to both questions, yes. And I am in several school districts out in the south suburbs. So we go into the district and bring the program to the girls. That way we don't have to worry about the girls having to travel to my Dalton location. This way the teachers, the instructors, they go to them.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. How can parents, guardians, loved ones sign their girls up for When Girls Get Together? Do they need to call that same number, or can they email you?
Yes, they can do both.
Okay.
They can go on the website.
Tell us the website.
The website is www.wggti.org, www.wggti.org. And it'll give you a chance to see just the different things that we've done, the different events as well.
Okay.
And there is a registration form on there as well. Or you can email me at carla.wggt@gmail.com. That's Carla with a C, .wggt@gmail.com.
Excellent. What is the one takeaway that you want listeners and viewers to have When Girls Get Together?
Oh, good. So the one takeaway I would say is that we truly have a passion for the girls. And we just really want to give back. We want to see these girls blossom. And we've seen some of them already start doing that. So I can assure you that if you send your girls to When Girls Get Together, you will be very much impressed with the transformation.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me today on TashaTalkz.
Thank you, Tasha.
It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to follow TashaTalkz on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube. We will catch you on the next episode of TashaTalkz. I'm your girl Tasha, wishing you a great day. Take care.